One day, a professor walked into the classroom carrying a large glass jar. As always, there was a spark of intelligent curiosity in his eyes. The students looked at him with great interest, wondering what he would do this time. The professor placed the jar on the table and brought out several large rocks from underneath. Each rock was about the size of a fist. He began placing them into the jar one by one until no more could fit. Then he looked at the class and asked, "Is this jar full now?" The students looked carefully and saw that no more rocks could be added. Most of them nodded and said, "Yes, sir, it's full." Then he pulled out a bag filled with small pebbles. He poured the pebbles into the jar and gave it a slight shake. The pebbles rolled down, filling the gaps between the large rocks. Again, he asked, "Is it full now?" Some students hesitated, but many still replied, "Yes, sir. Now it's really full." Next, the professor brought out a bag of sand. He began pouring it slowly into the jar. Fine grains of sand slipped into all the tiny spaces between the rocks and pebbles. Once again, he asked with a knowing smile, "Is it full now?" This time, the whole class responded together, "Probably." Finally, the professor took out a mug of water. He poured it gently into the jar. The water seeped through the sand and filled every last space. He smiled and said, "Yes, now the jar is truly full." The professor then looked at the class and said, "This jar represents your life. The big rocks are the most important things. Your family, your health, your close relationships. Even if you lose everything else, as long as you still have these, your life will remain full and meaningful. The pebbles represent other important things: your career, your house, your car, or your degree. They are valuable, but not as essential as the rocks. And the sand," he continued, "represents the small stuff. Scrolling through social media, unnecessary shopping, and all the trivial daily activities that don't add much value to your life." He paused for a moment and said thoughtfully, "If you fill the jar with sand or pebbles first, there will be no room left for the big rocks. The same goes for life. If you spend all your time and energy on the little things or less important matters, you'll have no space left for what truly matters. Your rocks," he said, "are the pillars of your life, your family, your health, your dreams, your passions. If you don't value them and focus on them first, one day you may realize you've left out the most important parts of life." The professor smiled again and said, "Place your rocks first. They give your life meaning and foundation. Never let the pebbles and sand take their place. At the end of your journey, it's the weight of those rocks that will define the true value of your life." So, he added warmly, "fill your life with the things that nourish your soul and fulfill your heart. The rest, the pebbles and sand, are just external." After he finished speaking, one student raised their hand and asked, "Sir, what does the water represent?" The professor smiled with delight and said, "Excellent question. The water shows that no matter how busy life gets, there's always room for small moments of joy, like having a cup of tea or coffee with a friend." He looked around the classroom and continued, "Often we try to balance all our priorities and fit everything into the limited hours of the day. We get so busy with small things that we forget what's truly important. This jar," he said, pointing to it, "is your life. It's not limitless. If you fill it first with sand and pebbles, there'll be no room left for the rocks. So I say again, place your rocks first: your family, your health, your dreams, your love. Make time for your loved ones. Take care of your physical and mental health. Follow your dreams and passions with courage. And in between," he added with a soft smile, "remember to leave space for learning, for growing, and for showing kindness and empathy." "The water," he said, "represents those little joys, the unexpected laughter, the shared moments with friends, the peaceful evenings, and the tiny bursts of happiness that make life truly beautiful. No matter how full life seems, there's always room for joy. The pebbles and sand," he concluded, "are necessary too, but don't let them replace the rocks. In the end, remember, life is not about being busy, it's about being meaningful. It's not about counting the days, it's about making the days count. So create a balance between the rocks, the pebbles, the sand, and the water. A balance that brings true joy and completeness to your life. If you believe this story should reach more people, please like and share the video. Your support helps us create and share more stories that inspire hearts and bring meaning to lives.